we also have to do distance formula. So let's take a look at distance formula. Okay, so distance formula. I wrote up two formulas here. Here's our distance formula. It says any line segment is equal to the square root of x squared minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. And again, sorry, I said that wrong. It's the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So again, we have two different points here that we're dealing with. Okay. I also have the Pythagorean theorem over here, and this is because these formulas are actually very similar. I think this one's easier to use. I'm going to show you how to use this one and this one. So let's start with this. So if I look at my chart here, I have A and B. It says A is at coordinates 1, 1, and B, looks like I messed it up there, B is at coordinates 4, 5. Okay? So AB is going to be equal to square root of x2. What's my x2? Well, I'm going to make this my x2, this my x1, and I'm going to make this my y1 and this my y2. Again, it shouldn't matter which one you make your x1 or your y1, as long as you're doing the same. I could make this coordinate my x1 and my y1. I could make this one my x2 and my y2, but I don't want to mix the two. I don't want to have x1 here and y2 here. That's not good. Okay. So again, x2 first. I have 4 minus 1 squared plus y2 is 5 minus 1 squared. So let's work this out. AB equals the square root of 4 minus 1 is 3. 3 squared is 9. 5 minus 1 is 4. 4 squared is 16. So if I get the square root of 20, I'm sorry, not the square root of 20, 9 plus 16 is 25. The square root of 25 is 5. Okay, so that's with the distance formula. I can actually do the same thing with the Pythagorean theorem. It's a little bit different, but I'm sure you guys are all familiar with the Pythagorean theorem. It's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So all I'm going to do on my graph is I'm going to make point C. And if we look, now I have a right triangle. Okay? And this actually makes it very easy, because if I make this A, this length, and this one B, and my hypotenuse, lowercase c, then I can plug those numbers in. So I'm just going to plug those in. So what is my length of A? Well, let's just count. If I start at 1, I go 1, 2, 3, 4. So A is 4 squared plus B squared. Well, let's see what B is. B is 1, 2, 3, 3 squared. Okay, and we're going to find c squared. So same thing here. 4 squared is 16. 3 squared is 9. We get 16 plus 9. Well, that's 25. And how in the world do I get c squared by itself? Well, I take the square root. So c equals 5. So you can see how they're very similar, because once we get here, we get 9 and 16, 9 and 16, and then all we had to do was take the square root as the last step, which is exactly what we did here. Okay? I think this is much easier, but if you want to use this, you can use that. Okay? And that's midpoint and distance formula.